Hi, welcome. In this episode, we are going to interview Lenny Wen. She is an author illustrator born and raised in Indonesia, and she lives in Austria. We're going to be talking about her debut author illustrator picture book, Spicy Spicy Hot, which comes out in April 2023. Thank you for joining us, and we're here to discuss your new author illustrator book. So, your debut, and Spicy Spicy Hot by Lenny Wen.
So
Thank you
cute.
for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. We're so happy you're here. We're both super fans of your artwork.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, to start, your artwork is just, I don't know, so full of life and the texture in it. And we were actually talking about it, not even just on this book, but all your artwork. It has so much, like, the environment and the characters come together and they all live, like, it's just so full of life. That's when I see it full of life. So I'm like, oh, I need to copy you. I need to learn from you. And I'm like, but wait a minute, what is she doing right? This is crazy. It's so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. And expressive. I like the
Yeah.
expressions in the book. Well, we can talk about them later when we talk about the book, but yeah, they're so cute. What is our should we get started?
Yeah, it's good. And you want to say where we can find Lenny's work too?
Oh yeah. Well, Lenny, where is a good place to find you? Where your preferred online places to find you online?
You can find me on my website, lennywen.com, or on Instagram at lunartc, or on Twitter at lunartc19.
Okay.
And all of this information is going to be on the newsletter and on the post, so it'll be very easy to find you. And we're going to tag you in everything that we post.
Yeah.
So we always start with the question of how did your art journey? How did you get here? Because everybody has a different way of how they found, from I like to draw to hey, I got my first book. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
I think my journey is not that different from others. I love to draw since I was a kid, and I mostly self-taught. That I copied like picture from mangas, and so I started with copying the mangas I read. And yeah, but I never talk about illustrator profession. When I was kid, I wanted to become a mangaka or a comic artist.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I never think like it can be a profession. So I went to university for taking the design, like visual design communication. And then starting in 2012, I start to illustrating children's book, but for Indonesian publishers. So I was back in Indonesia. But it's mostly as a side gigs. I have a daily job as a graphic designer, and then I did these side gigs at night, just doing some books. In 2016, then I quit my day job. I think I have some saving, and then I quit my day job. I mostly work with the local publishers and like self-published authors. And in 2019, I signed with my agent, Christy, from the cat agency, and that's how it is. Yeah, that's how it started.
So how did you find the cat agency? Because I mean, the cat agency, please, we love that. they're a wonderful agency. How did you find them, or how did they find you? Or
yeah, I followed them for quite a long time on Instagram, and then they also followed me back. And like one day in 2018, suddenly I got email from Christy, and she asked me, did you ever think about representation in US and Canada, and do you have any representation? And I was super excited, like
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, and I wrote back, yeah, of course I want a representation. And but she asked me, can she show my work to like some art directors or editors around, like she didn't sign me immediately, and she said she want to show my work first and get the impression before sign or anything.
Oh,
And I said, yes, of course you can take any any works from me, and then she showed it around, but yeah, my work wasn't there yet. Like this, like the art director said, there was a potential, but it was too much like an animation.
mhm.
Like it's too much 3D rendering, like I have this huge eyes and stuff, like more Disney style. So yes, Christy didn't take me in at that time. I end up reframe my portfolio for a whole year in 2018. Yeah, I was really down when when I
Of course.
received the
Oh,
feedback, and that's why I changed my style. Like I tried, like, okay, I need to learn picture books, and because I was so much influenced by animation before, and I didn't read much of children's book. So then I reframed my work, and in 2019 I wrote her again, and I said, do you mind like checking my updated work? Like, is it, how do you what do you think? And yeah, and then that's she signed me in finally after 1 year.
but you see, you didn't quit. You didn't. You used that fuel to
Yeah,
get you to work and make the changes that you needed to.
yeah,
That's fantastic. I actually have heard that often. The animation look versus the picture
yeah,
book look is a different style, different thing that works in one than the other.
Yeah. That's really good to hear though, because
Mhm.
everyone thinks that, you know, you just get an agent like right away, or
yeah.
it's good to hear when you keep trying and get one. Gives
And you
people
have been
hope.
with them, yeah. And you have been with them ever since with the cat
Yeah.
agency, and you stayed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first time Christy wrote me, I have this feeling that I really love our communication. Like she gave me a huge a long feedback which I didn't get from any other agents. Like she's the only one who showed me the direction which I should go, instead of just rejected me. Like,
Oh, that was nice.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's really good.
So before them, you had already sent your portfolio to other agencies. You had tried.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Mostly I didn't hear anything back. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop here. So Lenny Wen is incredibly successful in the picture book world, and she got rejections at the beginning. Because I mean, I get rejections. I just got one last night, and I'm like, my heart hurts so much. And it's hard to just go like, keep going, keep going, keep going. But what do they say? Like the successful person is that one that tried just one more time.
Yeah, I remember at that time I was really down. I even wrote to Will Terry. Do
You
you know
did.
Will Terry?
Yeah, of course. He's from SVS Learn and
Yeah,
the 3 Point Perspective
Yeah.
podcast.
And they
Huge
answer
fans.
questions. Yeah.
yeah. I was I don't know. I asked him like, what do you think about my style? Do you think I can get do you think I can get work? And he's nice. He replied my email and said like, yeah, he think my work was great, but now it's more like you need another skill aside from illustrating. So like outer illustrator is more popular, like more chance to get picked by agent and something like that. So yeah, it's really nice. He was really nice.
That's good.
Aw, that's really cool.
Yeah, I like that. People in the industry helping each other out. That's really good.
Yeah. No one does it alone, I don't think.
No, no, this is not even though it's a one-person job in your studio, it's not. It's a whole community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a lonely profession, isn't it? Like,
It is. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Lenny, how many books? So you signed in 2019. How many books have you had published since then as an illustrator?
Um,
5, 6? Wait, you have on your website a look.
Put her on the spot now. She has to look.
It's quite a few, and I
mm,
didn't realize they were in such a short time. I thought that maybe you had
I have 9
yeah,
until
1,
next year.
2, 3. Yeah, you have 9. Yeah, you have 9 books. Yeah,
So now
that's
that you are,
impressive.
now that you're doing your own, you had your own picture book, and there, I'm sure that you have some submissions already. Do you plan to still take on illustration jobs that are just for another author, or you're just going to keep working on your own?
No, I like to illustrating and other people's stories too. Like
Okay.
I mean, if I write and I illustrating, it takes so long, like
Yeah.
really long.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the gap, like in between, like the waiting time is yeah, I rather have something on the line. So it's
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Does it take you long? I mean, I know these are not
I was
questions
gonna
that I
ask that too,
prepared, but
yeah.
yeah, because you're so busy, you work so much. How long does it usually take you to do a picture book?
like on the illustrating, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's different, but I think like 3 months,
Oh my goodness.
like it's
That's
the fastest. I think.
that's really good.
You're
That's
a
really
fast
fast.
worker. Wow. We wanted to ask you because we noticed that in your website, your newsletter icon, which is really cute, the little avatar, everything, you have a polar bears even behind you. Do they have a
Oh,
special
yeah.
meaning for you, or you just why you use them so much?
No, I just like bears in general, but like I think polar bear is just something like I never saw it like back in my country in Indonesia. So this is like a magical animal for me. Like
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's so cute.
yeah.
that's cool.
Like your
That's adorable.
unicorn.
Yeah, I like polar bear more than unicorn. If that makes
They're
sense.
very cute. Let's see.
I think we should
Oh,
go
yeah, you don't.
here.
Oh, so you don't want to, you will save the felting for the
Yeah, we
end.
don't, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to go. We can cut
Okay.
this part out, but I think we
All
should go
right.
into her inspiration for the book. Yeah.
But let me just explain
Oh.
what it was. She had a question about felting because Sunny does
I
felting too, and she saw
yes. Hi, fellow
you.
fabric artists. I love felting. It's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun and it's therapeutic, right? Like
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
stabbing.
You're stabbing with a needle. Yeah. How do
Yeah.
you ever accidentally, because I'm always stabbing myself on accident, like
Oh yeah.
yeah, okay, good. It's not
This sounds like a
It's
dangerous
sharp.
pastime.
It's a sharp needle. It's very sharp. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
dangerous. But
But it is make me awake. Like if you feel really boring and you stab your finger
that's true.
and then you completely awake.
Yeah.
So let's go into your book, Spicy Spicy Hot. What was the inspiration behind the book? What was your idea to begin with?
I wrote the book in the beginning of the pandemic, like in March 2020. At the time, I wrote a couple of stories, like as an escapism. And then I submitted to my agent. I didn't even think like she should submit it to the publisher. I just like it's just like my stress relief. I wrote some stories and I just sent to her. But she immediately got back to me and said, this might work, this spicy hot. Like I said, okay. What should I like? So the inspiration, it came from I love to watch the foodie shows at that time. Like I watch a lot of it, and I love spicy foods. Like I really love spicy foods. So I don't know. I just wrote this story like like I didn't have much in my mind. I didn't think to submit it to publisher or anything. I just wrote it as a relief for this from the pandemic stress, and then yeah, and I sent it to Christy, and Christy said this might work. So we working together on this dummy. Yeah.
Is it have is it based on your family's experience also, or
Oh
just
no, not at
totally?
all. It's
Oh,
just because
really?
I love spicy food
Oh.
and
Oh, I love, okay. I love to hear this, honestly,
Yeah.
because it says like everything.
It sounds like it's told from your own memories. Like it sounds like you actually experienced this. It's really good.
Looking
Oh,
at the
should we
book
say maybe
and
we
the,
should say what the book is about?
oh, of course, yeah.
Or
Spicy,
people who
spicy
are
hot.
listening.
Yeah, because we forget that we have a podcast. And
Yeah.
do you want to hold up the book while we say, so that we
yeah.
can see the cover of it?
So cute. Okay, so for those listening, the book is called Spicy Spicy Hot, and it has a little girl at at a table with peppers in front of her, and she's sweating because it's hot, and her grandmother is peeking in from the back. It's really cute. It's such a cute cover. I love it.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Your end papers are so
Mm,
gorgeous. We were
yes.
talking and we're like, oh, that could be a placemat, that could be
Yes,
a tablecloth, that could be a
towel.
towel for a kitchen tile.
I
It's
love
so
it.
beautiful. It's so full of detail and just, I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you're
Yeah,
holding it
there
up.
they are. It's so pretty. Yeah.
It
Yeah, it's
it's
supposed to be a batik. Do you know batik is
Mhm.
from Indonesia?
I don't, but
Batik is
Mhm.
a pattern from Indonesia, like a
oh.
cloth pattern.
But see, this was what's interesting. So like my background is more like Latina and Hispanic. And I'm looking at this and I feel like it has a little bit of our culture in it. It's just there's definitely I think it's food. Food and some art that it just has like a universal feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and some cultures, like I said, that we put pattern upon pattern and color, and we're not like afraid of putting color together, colors that you wouldn't even think to go together, and they work, and it just looks so happy and alive.
Mhm. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's really colorful.
And the reason why we thought it was based maybe on your family or a life experience is because in the title page you have, this is the attention to detail in a picture book illustration. You have photographs of when the father, the little girl's father was a kid.
Yeah.
So you're telling the story before you even get to the actual story already with the pictures. Even the mom with the dad when they were either dating or just kids,
Yeah.
so they knew each other for a long time. I love that. It's like, this is what I love, when you can sit there and extract more from the illustrations that
Yeah.
are absolutely nowhere in the story.
And I didn't notice those until after, well, you mentioned it, and I went back, and after I had read the book, and then I looked at it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that is the father, and it's like a sepia tone picture. Yeah.
There it is. There she's holding it up. That's so cute.
And then and I also love that you made the mother and father an interracial couple, because my husband is from Guam, and so we eat a lot of really spicy food in our house, and this feels like
Like
this
home, right?
feels like our family, and I love that the mom says to the little girl,
You'll get used
that
to it.
that you'll get used to it. I did. So cute. So cute.
Thank you.
um because you this is your first author book, and do you have a writing critique group, someone that you bounce, other than your agent, that you work with in your stories?
Yeah, I have a group. I don't know if you know Listen.
I don't think so.
So I was in the forum, this SBS Learn forum before,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've like I found Listen there. She's like really talented artist, and I asked, do you have a critique group? Because like we can talk to each other, like so she brought me into her critique group, which in Facebook, like we have the group in
Yeah.
Facebook, which we did some critique. Yeah, that's how it
Cool. So
started.
is it an illustrator and writing critique group or just writing? Kind of both.
No, it's all illustrators,
Oh, okay.
but we try to write at the
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
That's cool.
This is really, it's more than a movement or a thing. It author illustrators is just, I think is the way to go now.
Yeah.
It's common.
It is. It is. And writing is a skill that has to be learned. And I mean, we're all learning it. I'm had to learn to write it, but it's not so much of a stretch because when you are actually illustrating, you're writing it. You got the story, you know, of course, finding the right words for it and finding the right grammar and the right, you know, tone and the right, you know.
Yeah. I always submit the story with my dummy. Did you also send it with dummy, or did you send with manuscript only?
For my agent with the well, no, first I do the story. Sometimes if I really want her to see what I envision for the illustrations, I might get like a little like a sample illustration, not a finish, just a sketch of what I have an idea. But I also have a critique group for writing, and for them I just do the no illustrations, just the manuscript, because I want to know if it stands without the illustrations first. What do you do?
I always with dummy because when I write the description, it takes longer than I just do the like I spend more time on writing the illustration description than I actually drawing it. So I always even it really rough the dummy, but I try. I don't know, like I can't just write. I need to like, because I like imagining it first in my mind, so
Yeah.
it's just hard. I don't know how to do it.
I had to like make sure that I understood and kind of like learn about writing, with many times that they told me no, this is wrong, no, this is not the way you do it, and having to figure out this is how you submit a manuscript, you know, like with the proper way of doing it. But you're right. You're right when you first see the character in your head. I think it's like we're illustrators.
Yeah, we're visual
first.
thinkers.
Yeah.
And so we see it first before we think of the words, I think. I
I wish we could talk in pictures.
Right?
That would be so awesome.
It'd be easier.
So for the people that are starting with illustration, do you mind giving us a step-by-step of how you illustrate, you know,
Any
from the
book.
moment that you get a manuscript and they tell you, hey, you know, this is what we want you to do, what's your first step?
Wait, I usually always start with the character designs. Like I will scribble in my sketchbook, like just get some idea out. And then when I have some iterations, I will sketch it digitally, like the character, and I will send to the team, like this is the character. I make some like 3 iterations for one character, like the main character only, and then they can choose which one they think is more fit to the story. And then from there, I think it depends. Sometimes I send like only thumbnails. If the story is really less narrative, then I will send like a thumbnails just to get just let the team see the ideas. But sometimes if the story is really, I mean, if the story is more clear, then I just send the sketch, the tight sketches. Yeah, after get some feedback, back and forth, revisions and stuff, and then I do the color. I will usually do like finish one spread and send it to the team, like this is what will look like in the final, like do you think this color is okay? if you think it's okay, I will continue just like, like just like this, and then if I get the green light, then I will just do the finish. Yeah, that's.
And it also it doesn't always work. Sometimes you get the yes and the color, and then later on there's some changes, because that takes us into our next one. Did you have any major edits in your book, or any major hiccups that you had to go over in the process?
For this spicy hot?
For the spicy, or if you want to talk about any other book that you like, there were a lot of changes, or I had to make some changes last minute, or
Well, and Lenny, do you work traditionally or digitally or a combination?
Usually it's more digital and sometimes combination, but for this spicy hot, I use fully traditional.
It looks, I thought it looked traditional.
Yeah. So for the spicy hot, the edit is more in the writing, like yeah. The editor is Samantha Gentry from Little Brown for Young Readers. So when I sent her, she said like, she likes the story, but just like my writing, the style, the voice is not, how is it say? The voice is not there yet. Like so we change like the style of the voice. She wants to have more like fun, more energetic voice. So I mostly rewrite after it get acquired. So yeah, that's a lot of work for the writing. And for the illustrating, mostly is the skin. Like it's really hard to get the skin right, because like my texture is, you see, like my texture is really rough, like, and I work traditional. So when they ask me to change, like I need to redo everything if they like, if they say it's not there yet. So I try to edit it like digitally with some layers, just put on the top of the face. Like, yeah, I think that's what the hardest part. Like when you do it traditionally, when the revision is just another level
it is
of
difficult,
stressful. Yeah, but you need to negotiate then like once skin like here is,
yeah, I'm looking at
like
that
before
page.
the designer say that the waist of the mom is is look weird, and then I don't know if I need to change the waist. I need to redraw everything. So I just try to stem with the stem tool in Photoshop, like try to edit it digitally. Yeah, that kind of stuff, like how to edit it digital.
Yeah, it's almost like if you're doing, and I don't want to like speak for everybody, but if you are traditionally, you have to kind of know a little bit of Photoshop or whatever other program you're going to use to fix things. If you're going to do this commercially, if you're going to do this as a career, because there's deadlines, and the next book coming after that. So redoing everything by hand, it's not the marketable, I would say. It's not
it's not efficient.
Efficient, that's the word. Yeah.
It's frustrating that you have to, still have to know some digital and how to edit images in Photoshop, but it's the easiest way to get it done.
Yeah, I think it's really important to understand at least Photoshop or other digital tools.
Yeah. So all of the, excuse me, all of the digital work that you do is in Photoshop. Do you ever use an iPad or Procreate or anything else? Or it's just
no, only Photoshop.
There is a scene
I think we should share it.
Well, I
Can
don't
you
know. Is it okay
Oh,
to
I don't know.
share?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we haven't asked.
I don't know. Yeah, that's true.
If you want to, we'll hold it up next time. We are going to
Or
ask for permission.
she could hold it up if it's
It's the
okay.
night scene when the grandmother is in the
Yeah.
kitchen, and I think in the book this is the most emotional moment of the book, because here's the grandmother staying up all night to make
Yeah,
this dish
so
for her
beautiful.
so that she can taste it without it being too spicy for her. And it's just gorgeous because all of the lighting, all of the colors are cool colors, the greens and the blues, except for where the grandma is, then all the warmth is on her. Even the main character is in shadow. It's going upstairs. I think, I don't know, like all of the book is fun, and when I get to this scene, I get goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
really,
you.
and I love the kitchen. Looks like the kitchen that I would see with my grandmother, and like it looks like a real kitchen. There's a tile, the cabinet door is a little bit open. It's like it's not perfectly. It's like it's wonky. It's got life to it, and I absolutely love it. And
There's
I think
pictures
that's
on
when
the
I stopped.
refrigerator. Yeah.
Yes.
I love all the, I just love all the details in it and the texture and the lighting. And it feels like a calm, if you feel calm, but then you go to the grandmother and she brings all that warmth in. And then
And I
just through the moon in the window is really pretty.
So I
lighting.
don't know if this happened by accident or this just happened, but this is you're in your arc in the story. It's funny, she's like reacting to the spice. There's so much energy in your illustrations. And then when you get this, it's like you actually have that mom moment. And from there, the story changes. Did you like think about this and was it an intuition to just go ahead and do this illustration so different from everything else that changed the tone of the story in that moment? Or was there a lot of art direction here?
And there's no text on this page.
No, it's no need.
Wordless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This scene already was in my initial draft, like since the beginning.
Okay.
Like I love like textless spread, like which you stop and just like graphs on the details and just I would say like a moment of break, like you get so you happening so much and then you have a break and then you go again, like yeah. So this was since the beginning, like in the draft, and there was, when I edited the manuscript, we was aim for 32 pages in the beginning, and then I said, should I like just take out this scene, this textless scene, like but the editor said no, it should be there, like this is like her favorite scene. So yeah, so after all we go with 40 pages.
40.
Good.
I am so glad to hear that. Yes, the standard is 32, but they're very willing to go to 40 to make a story better, because it's a little bit hard to get it all in 32 and still get those emotional moments that make the story so much better. So I am glad it went to 40, because it wasn't done. It needs to go through all of this. And if you have to squeeze it all in 32, it will be too rushed, and then it doesn't have the same impact. Yeah,
I think so.
very beautiful. Love it. Wow, we have gone through almost everything. So if you want to tell us what other project you're working on, I am definitely going to ask you about Wolfgang because you are teasing with that cover. It's a beautiful cover already. But any other projects that you're working on that you want to tell us about?
I'm working on illustrating Smiling Eyes, written by Linda Supar.
Oh, wait, that's not
it's
the ones that
already...
kiss in the corner. No, right? That's another one.
No.
Okay.
I think I have the announcement already in Instagram.
I'm
I
looking.
have to check. We're gonna cut all of this. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, you do.
Ready.
You do. You announced it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't seen it yet.
You announced in June. I didn't notice that one, but yeah. Oh, cool. That's wonderful.
Wow, it's in the Soup Park. That is very big.
That's exciting.
Oh, and we should also say congratulations because you were the illustrator, the feature illustrator in the SCBWI, which is really cool. It's right
Yeah.
after the new design. So you're like the first one after
Their new
the new
logo.
look. Yes.
The new logo. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
So what other part? You said Smiling Eyes.
And yeah, and the other one is not announced, a chapter book, an early reader chapter books.
Oh, nice. That you wrote or somebody else?
Somebody else.
Somebody else. Okay. Do you plan on writing? Are you gonna stick to picture books for a little bit, or are you planning to jump into something else?
No, I wish I can write like hybrid of this middle grade and graphic novels. Like, I don't know, like longer version of picture book maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
It's in your future.
Well, it would go with
And-
your, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
That would go well with like your past interests with like manga and
Yeah.
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 It's like going back home. And if you have to give advice to someone who's starting out, what would you tell them?
I think it's important to learn and like get to know the industry, the people, the books. No, not the books. I mean, like the industry. What is the product and how to market it, like, and keep learning. And I would say, like, try to get another skill beside drawing. I don't know, maybe like hand lettering or designing or writing, anything like beside illustrating, like you have another skill or hobby and thing. And another one is take enough rest. Like, yeah, I think like we always heard that artists, you should draw every day and you should do this and do this, but like after all, is the most important is the health, like the mental health and the physical health. Like, yeah, so take care of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep doing it, you have to be healthy
Yeah.
enough to keep doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, sitting and drawing isn't the most healthy activity, unfortunately.
It is.
Yeah.
I should take that advice.
I need it.
I try, but I don't succeed at it. But I like that. I think your first advice is incredibly important. That just the love of drawing is not enough to get you in this industry. You have to learn the industry and learn how it works. That makes a huge difference, I think, in success. A lot of times, I mean, I'm me included, when you arrive and you're like, oh, I can draw. I want to draw. That should be enough. And no.
Yeah, and now I think there are more information accessible, right? Like you can get
Yeah.
videos on YouTube for free and stuff. I mean, before I didn't like I didn't have idea about this industry because there wasn't anywhere we can learn or we can write anyway. There is no space for it.
How is your, I mean, your everything is online, but how is your community or writing? Is there a writing community in Austria where you are, or like anything?
No, I mean I live in a countryside, more in a village, so there wasn't any. Yeah, I didn't have this community.
So
I mostly
online.
chat with my peers in the cat agency. Like we have a Slack group. Like yeah, we
Oh,
chat
cool.
there.
Yeah. So if it wasn't for online, yeah,
Oh,
how would you find anything, right? Yeah, there's a lot of resources out there, though. That's a really good thing. So that's those are all the questions that we had. If there's anything else you want to say or you want us to mention that we haven't,
When her book,
yeah,
maybe when her book comes
yeah,
out.
we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Spicy Hot will be published on 25th April next year. Yeah.
April 25th, 2023. But
Yeah.
we can pre-order it now.
Yeah,
Mm.
we can pre-order now wherever books are sold.
All right. We will have
Yeah.
a link and for the pre-order in our newsletter for the month that this is
And
airing.
and in our show notes. Yeah.
This is airing sometime in
In February 2023.
Yeah.
So
we're a little bit
okay,
ahead of
for
time.
people listening, yeah, we're recording in 2022 right now.
November 2022. But that shows you all the work that comes ahead of actually the
Yeah.
release and all the things that happen.
Yeah.
But we wish you great success with the book, and it's really beautiful. And I'm,
Thank you so much.
I can't wait
and
to
you
see
too,
the next
for
one.
you too.
Thank you. Thank
So
All right. And then so we'll say bye to you, and we will hopefully see you again soon. And I hope you come over again too, because we'll have more questions. Thank
yeah,
you.
thanks for
Thank you so
coming, Lenny.
much.
Bye.
Thank you so much,
All
Olga
right.
and Sunny.
She had really good information about how it just doesn't always happen right away.
Yes, I
And how
love
she
that.
was, and how she was willing to rework it. It's not like it's
She was
very
willing
easy to
rework her whole portfolio. Yeah.
yes,
Several times.
That's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
It's kind of like instead of just hearing, no, your style is not ready for picture book,
Yeah.
and you're like, ouch, oh, I'm never going to try this again.
Yeah.
No, she's like, okay, let's get to work and do it again. And she says she
Mhm.
took, I think it's a year to do another portfolio, and brand new portfolio. So that means not just adding to it, but actually replacing everything you have.
Or well, I think she probably updated some things and reworked things and had new pieces.
Yeah, because if your style is not what is working for picture book, you have to do new pieces. You cannot just
you've got to reevaluate.
Yeah, that was a really wonderful
Very
interview.
insightful. Yeah, it was
and
very informative.
And she is such a lovely person. Seriously, there's a gentleness to her spirit that I really I appreciate it. I feel it. I really like her so much.
But it comes through in her artwork, I think.
Yes, I think so. Like when we discussed that scene, I don't know what it is about that scene that I feel it. Like I don't know, like
it's
there's
touching.
heart in there. Yeah.
No, it is. It's a very touching. The lighting, the textures, the attention to detail. Really pretty.
It's full of detail without it being so overwhelming that you're like, where do I look? No, it's like you know exactly where to look because she has done it with the value and the lighting. And then you kind of sit there and explore your secondary views in there, and it's beautiful. I love it. I like her work so much. Like
I do too.
It's just so inviting.
And I am comforted to know that she has a degree in graphic design because I love her website. I love her her book trailer, and then like when people say that they look so put together online and they're doing all these things, and then you're like, did you teach all that yourself? But I mean, she clearly has experience, you can tell, and she's doing a great job with representing herself that way.
That was good advice that she gave about having a different set of skills, and like writing or graphic. I feel like the graphic design is like the adult part of art that you do when you want to have. It's like a job that is socially acceptable. Oh, okay, you're a graphic designer. Yes, that makes sense. But when you say I want to be an illustrator, it's like, you want to draw like a little kid with crayons, like like and it's funny because a lot of illustrators were graphic designers first, but they want to draw, and they have to first do the adult job, which it's fantastic. Now that I am an illustrator, I want to go back and learn the graphic design. I talked to you about. I'm like, I want to learn lettering. I want to learn all this stuff because I feel that it would just complement what I am doing now, especially, you know, with books.
Yeah, I think it does, especially with I love hand lettering. I wish.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And no, when you're an illustrator, I mean, you are doing graphic design, you are doing design work because you're laying out a picture and figuring out the whole layout of the book. Like that's
Well,
not,
yeah, it's
you
the
know,
compositions of a
yeah.
page. But
Well, and where you'll put
the
spots and where
text,
you put a full spread, you know, where you put a spread. That's all part of designing.
yeah, I think I want to get lettering. I think
Yeah.
that's what I want.
So I think you
I
you already have a grasp of a lot of it. You just want to improve in like certain areas.
yes, so I'm gonna be taking some classes. I mean, like, you know, when something starts, like you want to do this, you want to do this, and it's this little naggy voice. So eventually, I know I'm gonna be like, okay, that's it. No more
Well, I
waiting. I'm
think
gonna do it.
mostly you want to do it for cards because you're working on cards right now, so it would help you.
Yeah. Yes, for the greeting cards, it definitely will help me out. And she has a lot of books.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. It's impressive. I didn't realize she'd only started in traditional publishing in 2019. I just thought I figured it was a lot later, but that's in 3 years. She's got 9 books out.
Yes.
That's
Yes, that's she's a hard worker.
yeah, I don't know how she is. But honestly, like she said, if you're author illustrator, that you spend a lot more time with the project than if you're just the illustrator. You're just sending in the
Yes, yeah. Oh my gosh. That is a good thing to touch on.
Mhm.
When you're the author illustrator, you will
You're
see this project
beginning
for
to
so many
end.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to the point that you're like, okay. And kind of you go through this point that you're like, is it good or is it not good? Because I've seen it so many times and it's just
Yeah.
like, but then you kind of move on and then it
Yeah.
comes back and you're like, oh, I love it. I get like get me excited again about it.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and then going through, like, you go through the edits and then you go through the illustration. The illustration part is the fun part, I think. And then you go through the changes and then you get to the marketing. I don't know. I'm looking forward. I want the next project. I'm really
Yeah.
like excited and trying to, and I'm hoping
Yeah.
that something else gets picked up and if it doesn't get picked up, I'm gonna keep trying. Because
Yeah.
did you say something about if you knew that it wasn't gonna succeed, would you still do this? If you knew
Yes.
from the get-go that, and I'm like, oh darn it, I would actually be doing the same thing because I love this stuff. I want to
Yeah,
do this.
it was a quote from someone. I sent it to you
Yeah.
and I can't remember who it was from.
That's how I think.
They were quoting someone. And yeah, that was the point. Is if you were even if you weren't able to make a living from this, would you still be doing it? You know, is this something, so then why not make a living doing it? I mean, I
Yeah.
think that has, yeah, and I thought about it. I'm like, would I still draw if I wasn't, you know, if this was, would this just be a hobby? Would it, you know, what would this look like if I wasn't trying to make money doing it or try to
I
make
I
it a career?
I think it helps you to see it if this is truly what you're supposed to be doing. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, I found the thing I like to do. And within it, it doesn't mean just picture books, you know,
Mm-hmm.
art illustration as a career that, you know, might mean greeting cards, might mean stationery, might mean um I don't know, an animation. So you know, picture books, posters, whatever it might be. But yeah, I answer that question with a yes. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
made me answer it like, yeah, I'm
I
doing
would
what I
still,
want.
yeah, well, I think I would still be, I would definitely have a sketchbook. I would still be drawing. I don't think that I could ever leave this, you know, have it not be a part of my life.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's funny, but the only difference is that now it's done with purpose,
Yeah.
and we are more not precious with the things, but we're like, oh, I need to say this because it might lead to another project later
Focused.
on. Yes.
Focused.
Where before I was like napkins here, paper plates over there, and I
Yeah.
didn't gather them in one place because I might need them for later. It was
Yeah.
just like, I'm just doodling while I'm on the phone kind of thing, and it goes in the trash
Yeah.
after.
I, you lost me there. It's like napkins.
Yeah, you were like, what is she talking about?
And then I forgot. Oh, you draw because you draw and write on napkins and paper.
I do.
Because you
And
do
on
it.
menus, the paper menus at restaurants.
Yeah.
I am the one that
Yeah.
asked for the crayons. My kids didn't need them. Can I
Yeah.
please have the kids' menu? That's why, so that I can draw while I wait for your food.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I did too. Yeah, my kid, I would have to, well, my kids like to use them, but then they would get mad at me because I would like draw on half of it and then they would have nothing left.
And you turn it over and you start your own games.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I always end up doing, and this is just, you know, the little paper that holds the napkins and the utensils. It's like a
Yeah.
little paper
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah.
Every time I take it out, and the first thing I do is make a little airplane. I throw it to my kids. It doesn't, it never
Never
does not
flies?
happen. No. Oh no,
Oh.
it never flies, but it never fails. This is what I do.
Oh.
Like as soon as I get it, I turn it into an airplane and do
Oh, there was
origami with
something I
it.
wanted to mention, and I think the reason, before I forget, the reason they asked that question is, if would you be doing this if you were not making money from it, is because there are many times where we have to keep doing this without making money from it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
yeah.
you have to be passionate about it, or you're gonna give up. Like if you're just in it for the income, or if you're just in it for accolades, if you're just in it for to
Or when it doesn't
yeah,
even bring enough money to pay for childcare or to pay for the
yeah,
groceries, or to actually think, oh my goodness, this will be enough of a career that I can actually live of this. Not every artist is able to do that.
yeah,
Usually the top big tier can do that. Most illustrators need a second job if they are the sole winner,
yeah,
breadwinner in their house. So no, like don't expect that it's gonna be like that.
yeah. And that's
Absolutely.
not, I feel bad because I mean, not bad, but that's not talked about enough. And it is kind of talked around and people kind of mention it, but it's very, and I think part of it is people don't like to talk about money, and people don't like to talk
Yeah, that's
about
true.
how most of us do this because we love it. And I, I don't know what else
Yeah. No, but it's true. I mean, like, I think you brought it up the other day. Look at most illustrators that you follow. They have a school or a class
mm-hmm.
or some other
There's
thing that,
secondary things
yeah,
going
that
on.
they are selling, either a store. So that shows you that there's a need for more income to be able to keep doing the one thing that they want to do, which is the picture books
Yeah.
and think about how long it takes to illustrate just one piece, let alone a whole book. Like when you break it down per hour, it doesn't, like the amount of money that you get for the
Yeah.
amount of hour, and how many hours it actually takes to do the work, it doesn't even look like a real job, quote unquote, that you would get out there. So know that this is not to like make people feel like, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't go into that. No,
I don't want to
absolutely
discourage
follow it, don't
people. Yeah.
discourage, but know this, you are not probably not going to be the next Mo Willems. It's just it's not going to happen right away, or it's not, or it might not even happen. So know what you're getting yourself into, but
Mm-hmm.
if you have that calling, you can't shut it out. It's life is too short, right? Not to do the one
Not
thing
to
that you really want
try.
to do. Like
Yeah.
yeah, if this is
Yeah.
what's calling you to do it, then find a way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
find a way.
agree. Yeah. And it's so
All right.
reassuring hearing other authors and other illustrators say the same thing. That I tried and tried and tried, and And it was
Yeah.
that third, fourth, fifth, 10th time I got it.
What I would say is don't quit. Yeah. Try,
Yeah.
but don't quit. Take breaks. Take breaks if you need to, but don't quit.
So that's what I think we got from this interview. Don't quit.
Yeah, we went into like completely different, and I was thinking like some of the stuff might be like another interview, I mean another episode, but it's okay, whatever.
Yeah.
We went yes, so we are wrapping it up.
I
think we're good.
I think
Just in case we'll wrap up. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank
and
you.
we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.